यो मां पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं चामय पश्यति
अस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति
दश्यामि प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति.
Lord Krishna is saying, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. And this is complete Krishna consciousness. This is why we are practicing bhakti, to get to this stage. And as I just mentioned, Sri Guru Nityananda Ram and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, all of them, they are aiding us. They are purifying us, they are strengthening us, and they are stabilizing to get to this platform and stay there. Yeah, and we'll read what Srila Prabhupada is saying. One of you, please go ahead, read.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, please.
A person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of the material nature, but in each and every instance, he is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is the manifestation of Krishna's energy. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, a position. Mataji, maybe some other can read?
Yes, please, somebody else. Krishna consciousness.
Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. It is the stage beyond self-realization, at which the devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee, and the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity attains his immortality, nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of the sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. A devotee takes no such risk. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita.
Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaramachintya gunasvarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
May I?
Go ahead, Mataji.
I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Sam Sundara, situated within the heart of the devotees.
Continue.
Okay, thank you.
Please continue, Mataji.
At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. In the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as a Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So this is our goal, not to lose the sight of the goal, not to get lost. Whatever we are doing in bhakti, externally, internally, Bahya Rupa Bhakti, Cheshta Rupa Bhakti, or Bhava Rupa Bhakti, everything is to get to this stage of Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, Shanta Sadaiva Hridesh Vilokayanti. Yam Shama Sundaramachintya Gunaswarupam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. So this is our goal. This is the summit that we want to reach to. And Sri Guru gave us the opportunity to step into this world to get to this summit. Nityananda Ram stabilizes us in our journey to get to this summit. And Gauranga teaches the ways of how to get to this summit. But nevertheless, this is the peak of the summit. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. Yam and Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Chamai Pashyati. I wanted to bring your attention, my attention also, to see that this is our goal, and everything that we are doing in Bhakti is to get to this summit of Bhakti. Yeah. And now, so when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Siksastakam, all of them are meant to bring us to this stage. And since we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, hopefully we'll read that one too after Siksastakam. Since we are reading Siksastakam now, we want to keep this goal in our mind and see how Siksastakam is helping us get there. If we are reading Bhagavad Gita, it's the same thing. We want to see how each quote, each instruction, and everything that is said in Shastra is helping us to get there. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. Niraparadha Namalaile Paye Premadhana. Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Chamai Pashyati. That's though we call it as stage 4. That should be our natural state of existence. And it is very much possible because of Sri Guru and Gauranga. We will, only with their mercy, we will be able to get to that platform. Nevertheless, the destiny, the summit of that Bhakti mountain remains the same. Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra. In specific, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. Love of Godhead. That's love of Godhead. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. Yeah. So on that note, we will go to Siksastakam now. And if you have any quick comment or question, you can share that while I pull out that Siksastakam.
Mataji, the shloka that we recited, is it from which book, Mataji? Which Shastra?
Yomam
Brahma
Pashyati
Samhita?
Sarvatra? No, Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu. The Yomam Pashyati is Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
Premanjana Charita is Brahma Samhita.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
so Premanjana Charita is what you said. Everybody's goal is that, right, Mataji?
Yeah. Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra is seeing Krishna everywhere.
Yeah.
And everything in Krishna. But specifically seeing Krishna with eyes anointed with love. That's love of Godhead. That's Premanjana Charita.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
And when we say Niraparada Namalaile, the Nama, when it is done without aparadas, can take us to that Premanjana Charita.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare. Okay, now we will go to the second verse of Sri Siksastakam. As explained by Srila Prabhupada. Let me bring you to that. Okay, I'll share this screen. So this is Siksastakam. That's beautiful Panchatattva there. And we did the Chetodarpanamachanam so far. And we did the first translation by Srila Prabhupada. And wow, there is the second one. I think I should just copy paste and do it on the word. So we'll have it. Nevertheless, we will do the second sloka. So the first one was over and second one was, please repeat after me. Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis.
Sarva Shakti.
Tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kalaha.
तत्र अर्पिता नियमिता स्मरेण कालः
Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi.
एतदृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि
Durdaiva mitrisham vihajaninanuragaha.
दैवमित्रं
Somebody can read this translation, please, and we'll go to the purport soon.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Hare Krishna.
Hari. What we will do now is Samodana Bhashya. Yes. We will enter into the commentary by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Praveen Prabhu, do you think you can bring that that one posted in the group, Samodana Bhashya PDF, to the screen? Or any one of you? Can you do that?
What is it, Mataji?
The one Siksastakam that I posted on the chat group.
I'm just trying, Mataji.
Yeah, please do. I think we can enter that now since we have heard some from Srila Prabhupada.
In Sharanagati, right, Mataji?
Oh, Gambhira.
Gambhira, okay.
I think we will save it for next time whenever, so we can directly go to that. Samodana Bhashya. Sorry, we should have had this earlier. Oh, thank you, Praveen. Thank you. So, can we make it bigger, Prabhu? Perhaps you're doing it from the phone, huh? Okay, this is good enough. Thank you. We could actually go ahead, start this one and continue with the rest of the Siksastakam here. We will recite this one, read, and then move on. So that way we are starting the Samodana Bhashya today with the commentary by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So we'll start with the first verse and then move on. You may please repeat after me. Or one of you, please go ahead, recite, and we'll repeat after you. Cheto
Darpana Bhava Mahadhava
Nirvapanam
Kriya
Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadu Jeevanam. We'll do it together. Anandambudi Vardhanam Padam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Okay, and yeah, we'll go to the translation directly, please. Yes, let there be victory. Translation for this. Let's read the translation and get down. Yeah. Let there be victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step. Remember, we just discussed about Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. If that is the summit of bhakti, then Shuddha Nama or Prema Nama Sankirtan is the practice of that summit of bhakti. So the Bhava Bhakti will be Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. That's how a devotee would feel inside. And that is practiced, strengthened, and lived when we are chanting Shuddha Nama. And when japa inside is japa outside. So the same thing would continue outside the japa. And this is how these slokas are linked up. And this is what their place is in bhakti. The place of Premanjana Charita and the place of Shuddha Nama. When we chant with no offenses, that particular Shuddha Nama purifies us, strengthens us, stabilizes us, and let us be on that platform of summit of bhakti. So the rest of the outside of japa can continue on the same platform. Okay, and this is how the first sloka is giving a gist of what Harinam can do. Harinam can purify us in the very beginning. Chetodarpana Marjanam, starting from purifying, that is Chetodarpana Marjana, to the very end of putting us on the summit of bhakti, Sarvatmasnapanam, to a point where every cell of the being of a devotee is in the existence of pure devotional service. From the very bottom of the mountain to the summit of the mountain, Harinam can do that. And that's the gist of the first sloka, Chetodarpana Marjana. Yeah? And now we'll move on to the next by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, of how he is explaining the verses. Yeah, somebody can please go ahead and read that.
I begin this Sanmodana Bhashyan commentary on the 8 Siksastakam verses written by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by offering my humble obeisances at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and his eternal associates in the Sri Panchatattva, namely Nityananda Avaduta, Advaita Prabhu, Gadadhar Pandita, and Srinivas Thakura.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Panchatattva ki jaya. Yeah, let's continue, please. The path of perfection.
The path of perfection. The path of devotional service is the highest perfection of life, and it is sought after in all the Vedic literatures. Applying his superior intelligence to repeated research of the Vedas, Lord Brahma ascertained that the best method of self-realization is the awakening of one's loving attachment to Lord Hari, who dwells within everyone's heart. Faith, eagerness, deep understanding, and the association of pure devotees are required.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
These are the words of this Mahajana, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He emphasizes again and again beautifully. Please note what he's saying here. The path of devotional service is the highest perfection of life. There are different routes to reach different stages in the mountain. Not every route will reach to the summit of the mountain. It's the bhakti that is specific, not just karma mishra bhakti or yoga mishra bhakti, but pure bhakti gets us to the summit of that mountain. And that's why this is called as bhakti yoga, or devotional service is called as the highest perfection of life. Because we are trying to reciprocate to the very source of this creation, both material and spiritual, to the very person behind all this creation. And that is why this is the summit of the mountain, the pure bhakti. And rest of the yogas, they may deal with the energies of the person, but they don't necessarily reciprocate with the source behind the energies. And that is why bhakti is the topmost one, the complete one, and the highest perfection of life. And if you see, the next thing he's saying is bhakti. How beautifully did he say here? Loving attachment to Lord Hari. That is bhakti. And we just read what Srila Prabhupada was saying in his purport. Krishna consciousness means cultivation of loving attachment to Lord Krishna. That's Krishna consciousness. Anything that we do externally, anything that we read, anything in bhakti is meant to take us to that loving attachment to Lord Hari. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying the same thing here. Bhakti is awakening of one's loving attachment to Lord Hari. And how can that be done? Oh, by the way, he's giving the address also, the immediate address of Lord Hari that is dwelling within everyone's heart. So loving attachment to Lord Hari that is dwelling in everyone's heart. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati. And how do we do that? When we cultivate that loving attachment, we have to do it with faith and eagerness and deep understanding that can be obtained only in the association of pure devotees. Because they have realized, these pure devotees, when we are hearing from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this association is very potent because they have realized. They have lived it, they are living it, and they are taking us to where they are. And this is the association of pure devotee that we are getting now when we are hearing from Srila Prabhupada, from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And this is the association. And the beauty of this association is the faith naturally deepens. And so when we are performing anything external, then that would be accompanied with eagerness. If it is not accompanied with eagerness, then we want to voluntarily put some effort to see that we are doing it with enthusiasm or eagerness. And faith that this bhakti will take us, this bhakti and the association of these pure devotees will take us to the summit, Premanjana Churita. As we go to the summit, we will see that everything that was not seen before, everything that was not understood before, everything that was a problem before because of our narrow vision, all that will be settled down and all that will be falling in place very nicely with better understanding and better solutions as we go up towards the summit of the mountain. In the same way, as we progress in bhakti, with this summit in mind, Premanjana Churita, all the material problems that we might have and all the spiritual progress that we are looking for, everything gradually falls in place because we will develop right perspective. And we will have enough clarity and strength to move on. So that way, in the association of pure devotees, when the bhakti is performed, when the Harinam is chanted, this is why we say everything material and everything spiritual will be taken care of as we move forward with faith and eagerness in bhakti. So we'll pause here. This is beautiful. We have heard something from Srila Prabhupada, from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We'll take the reflections, take home points. We'll pause here and continue from the next paragraph later. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hari Hari.
Very nicely said that before that line, the faith, I have not written it, but the last line, the faith,
and enthusiasm in the association of pure devotees.
Association of pure devotees.